So in November 2022, I made a whopping $150 from my music. But in November 2023, just 1 year later, I made $7,135. Since then, I consistently make over $7,000 a month from monetizing my music skills and knowledge online. So in today's video, I want to share with you the 10-step formula that I would follow if I would have to start this music business once again. If you don't know me, my name is PLV or Orly, and since January 2021, I have been documenting my journey of learning music production from zero on this channel. Just over 3 years ago, I had no idea what a DAW was. Since then, I became fairly good at producing music. I grew my audience on social media to over 70,000 followers on all platforms, and I was able to quit my 9-to-5 job last year to become a full-time music creator. I feel like I have discovered a new way for music artists to monetize their music skills from the comfort of their own bedroom without having to wait for that $10 ridiculous Spotify royalty payment. So my goal is to help you turn your music passion into a profitable business. If that sounds like you, stick around for the video and consider subscribing to the channel, as I have many more videos coming about that topic. So the first thing you have to do is to start with the end goal in mind. If you don't have a destination for your dream goal, your dream outcome, then you can't know how to reach it. So there is 2 questions to ask yourself. Number 1, how do you want to monetize your music? Because there are many different ways to do so. I would put a list of a few different ideas over here, but I would recommend to pick 3 to 5 to start with. Just pick the ones that you think would interest you, that you think would be good for you, just the ones that you feel the most attracted to. Now, those are just gonna be guidelines, but you need to think outside the box. For example, my friend producer Pisoni, he is very good with plugins, he's very good at the technical aspect of it, he's good at coding, and he saw that some plugins in Ableton Live was losing their UI when it was loaded on Ableton. So he just went in and built some Max for Live wrappers that now he's selling. So this, for example, would fall into the category of digital products, but it is perfect for music artists. So this is just an example of how you can think outside the box, and the only limitation that you have is your imagination. If you can find a problem and solve it for someone, then you're gonna be doing great. One more thing that I would recommend when picking the income sources that you want to set up for yourself as a music artist online, just think about your strength and what you're good at and what you love doing. Because if you don't like what you're doing, it's gonna be very hard for you in the hard times to push through. Now, number 2 is how much money do you need or want to make per month to be able to potentially quit your 9-to-5 job? So what I would do is to calculate all my monthly expenses and then add an extra 25% on top of it just for safety. So for example, if you need $3,000 to cover all your expenses and then you add $750 for that extra 25%, that would mean that you need to aim for $3,750. My French brain is struggling when I'm using English numbers, sorry. Now also keep in mind that on top of that, if you are your own boss, you're gonna have to pay your own taxes. So in fact, in reality, you should aim for a little bit more than that. So let's say you would have to pay 30% for taxes. That means that you should aim for $5,000 so that you can keep in your pocket $3,500. This way, it's still good for you to cover your expenses, live from it, and still have a little bit of wiggle room. Then finally, what I like to do is to divide my income sources into different buckets, just so that I have a specific goals for each income source. So for example, if your goal is to make $5,000 through mixing and mastering services, online course, and coaching lessons, you could aim for $2,500 through online course sales. That's about 25 sales at $97. Then you could aim for $1,500 of mixing and mastering services, which is 500 clients a month. And then finally, you could aim for $1,000 in coaching sessions, which could be 10 students at $100 each. Now, the reason why I like this exercise is because when you put it like that, going full-time as a music artist doesn't seem so unattainable and scary. It seems more reasonable and achievable because it's broken down in simple steps that feels actually very achievable. So congrats, you should now have an exact plan as to how you want to monetize. All right, so now the step number 2 is to choose a discovery platform. Because to make it simple, if you want to sell something, you need to have people to sell it to. And the best and easiest way and freest way to do it in 2024 is to use social media. This is how you're going to put your potential products or services in front of thousands, if not millions of eyes every day. It's like free advertisement. But there is one mistake that I see most beginners fall into. You have to choose one platform or 2 maximum when just starting. More than that will overwhelm you and it will lead you to give up or burn out before you even get started for real. Now for us music artists, I recommend video platforms mostly. So for example, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. But to show you an example, when I started, I decided to choose YouTube for long form videos in order to build trust and authority with my audience. And I also chose Instagram for short form video that would have a greater reach that I would then be able to redirect to YouTube. Now, if I'm being completely honest with you, if I would have to start again right now today, I would only focus on YouTube. I would not even bother with Instagram. I think that being on both platforms for so long since the beginning is what slowed my growth on YouTube. I think that if I would have focused my attention to YouTube, I would have grown way more. And I think it would be easier to monetize through YouTube than Instagram. So those are my honest thoughts from my experience. Take it or not, do whatever. Okay, so now we have our discovery platform, so we need to start building an audience, which is our third step. Wow, my English today. Oh my God. It's 7 a.m., okay? Cut me some slack. So as I was saying, you need to start building your audience. And at this point, you just are going to have to start. And if you think that you aren't good enough yet to show your music skills online, do the same as I did. Build in public. Build your skills in front of everyone by documenting your journey. This is the best way to do it. But whatever you decide to do, your channel and profile should tell visitors what you do, why they should follow you, and why they should trust you. So you can see how I do it here on Instagram, but it could be summarized to: I'm a music producer and social media content creator. I help music artists monetize their music skills online. And I have done it for myself while being completely self-taught since day one. I made plenty of videos about the topic of growing your fan base online, or how to make videos and what to post about as a music producer. So if you're interested, you can watch them over here right after this one. Okay, so let's move on to the step number 4, which is to start attracting your perfect target audience or customer. When you start posting and making videos or post online, think about your perfect target audience and what they would like to see. The purpose of building your audience online here is to be able to monetize it afterwards. So since the beginning, it is very important that you start to attract the right audience. So to give you an example, if I would to make beats, I need to make content that is going to attract rappers and singers that have no knowledge about music production whatsoever. Because if I attract music producers, they're not gonna buy my beats because they know how to make it themselves, right? So take some time to think about who your perfect target audience is and try to make a list of all the types of content that they would like to see. Now, making content online is a whole other world than making music. In order to successfully grow an audience, you will have to learn about a lot. You will have to learn about video editing, graphic design, copywriting, content strategy, algorithms, etc. The list never ends. The best you can do is to learn about it and to stay humble. So read books, watch videos, attend free live webinars, talk with other music content creators. And if you want to fast track your learning, you can still join the waitlist of my upcoming course, MusiCreator. This is where I will go in depth to all those topics that you need to know to make a living from your music online. I'm going to be running an exclusive first cohort on April 29th, but only 25 spots will be available. This time it will be a 3 weeks live cohort that includes 6 live lessons. Replays will be available, of course, a student workbook so you take actions, lifetime access to future cohorts, and many other bonuses. It will cost $297 as an introductory price, and there are currently 18 times more people than spots available on the waitlist, so if you want a chance to get in at that price, I heavily recommend you to join the waitlist with the link below. Last time I ran that masterclass, all the 50 spots were gone in less than an hour, so register. Alright, so once you start building your audience, you need to pave the way for monetization. And it starts by building your email list. The audience that you build on social media is called rented, because at any moment, at any point, the social media platform can close, they can ban your account, they can terminate your account without you having anything to say. So you need to own your audience, and you do that through email. So in order to get people's email addresses, you need to offer them something for free in exchange of their email. And this is what we call a lead magnet, like my 7 steps to produce a track from scratch email course. So when thinking about your lead magnet, it should be something that you can build in 1 to 2 days, that you can give away for free, that is valuable for your audience, and that is related to what you will offer for a fee. So for example, let's say that you want to offer a big sample pack. As a free version, I would just do a smaller version of a sample pack. If you would sell an online course to make a tech house track, maybe just give away the first chapter of the first module. Now, once you start getting some email address coming in, you need to nurture those people. The best thing I recommend here is to send regular emails. I recommend once a week. That is gonna keep adding more value and keep giving them more tips. Just help them as much as you can. Because the more valuable you are to them, the more they will be ready to buy from you. So for writing your newsletter or weekly email, the best thing I recommend is to find a format that works for you and that is easy to stick to it. If you're reading mine, for example, you know that I always start my newsletter by a big journey or lesson that I learned on my journey. Or some tips or tricks or step-by-step formula to follow. And then I continue with 2 new music discoveries and 2 new resources for music artists. And then I close it by sending my last YouTube video. So this is an easy format that I just keep all the time. And all I have to do on Monday morning is just to go through everything, add them in, and send it. All right, so while you'll be growing your audience, growing your email list, and making a name for yourself, this is where you can start monetizing. And the easiest and fastest way to do that when you're starting is to offer your services. So it could be ghost production, mixing and mastering, vocals, drums, guitar recordings, one-on-one coaching sessions, playlist promotion, composing for TV, films, etc., etc. My recommendation for you is to make it as easy as possible for people to book you. I personally use Calendly to book my coaching sessions, but you could use third-party platforms like Fiverr or Upwork, or you can just use a simple Google form. And if you really want to keep it simple, you can still just throw your email address in your Instagram bio or YouTube description, and that's it. Call it a day. Also remember to put a link for it at the end of all your newsletter. It's called indirect promotion. All right, so let's move on to the next step, which is one of my favorite because it's so smart. But once you start posting consistently, you're gonna start to receive some questions, some DMs, some comments, and you're gonna start to notice some recurring questions. As they start to trust you more, they will start to come to you for discussions, advice, opinions, tips, whatever. This is where you should take notes of everything that is recurring. This is what I call learning the lyrics. Here's why it's gonna be super important. For example, I noticed that the self-taught music producers were struggling a lot to learn on their own at home with YouTube. They didn't know where to start, there was too many video choices, and they didn't know who to trust. So I started creating more content about it. But the actual reason that you need to pay attention to the lyrics of your audience is to be able to create your first paid offer, which is step number 9. Develop a product as the solution. So as I was saying, if you notice a common struggle, a common problem or theme inside your audience, take note of it. Do some research online to see if there are any solutions to their problems. If not, this is where you come in. Create that solution for them and offer it as a paid product, which is exactly why I created the YouTube roadmap or the 12-month plan. It is to fix that problem for self-taught music producers. So by now, you should have been able to pinpoint your perfect first product or paid offer idea. So now all you have to do is to build it, launch it, and promote it, which is our last step, launch your first paid offer. This will probably become your signature offer, but don't worry about making it perfect, just launch something, get feedback from the first customers, and iterate over and over again with time. So if you follow that 10-step strategy, by the end of 2024, you should have 2 income sources from your music online: a paid service and a digital product. This will give you a great base to start building on it the next year. Just remember to focus and to go one by one. Don't rush it, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Believe me. It takes a lot of hard work in the dark, in the studio, alone, without any rewards or recognition in the beginning, in the first few months, the first few years. But I swear to you, it's worth it. Because if I can do it starting from not knowing what a DAW is, then there is no reason you can't succeed as well. Now remember that if you want to go more in depth on this topic and want my personal support and guidance in creating your own music business, then you should register for the waitlist of MusiCreator because it's enrolling very, very soon. In the meantime, keep learning and I'll see you in the next one.